Comparing James Gunn's Superman and Zack Snyder's Man of Steel box office results is completely and utterly stupid in today's day and age. Let me explain why. Everybody's a box office expert these days. Literally everybody. I didn't know that there were so many people out there that knew how much a movie made adjusted for inflation, but looking at comments online, everybody knows, especially Zack Snyder fans. But there's somebody online who I think you should all listen to called Miss Movies that made a very interesting point about the difference between James Gunn's Superman box office results and Zack Snyder's Man of Steel box office results. So basically, Miss Movies' argument boils down to one thing, is that we cannot compare pre-COVID box office records to post-COVID box office records because our movie-going tendencies these days have drastically changed. And it makes a lot of sense. It's all because of the cost of living. Everything nowadays is far more expensive than it used to be. And that includes going to the cinema. There are people out there that will tell you, well, ticket prices have increased, therefore James Gunn's Superman should make more money. No, it shouldn't. That's not actually what's happening. What's happening is that ticket prices have increased, therefore fewer people are going to the cinema because it's just too expensive nowadays. If you've tried to go to the cinema in London, it's at least 25 quid in. If you're going to places in the centre of London, you can find cheaper tickets. Shout out to Peck&Plex, £6 tickets, brilliant. But you see the gist. It's far more expensive nowadays than it's ever been to go to the cinema. Therefore, fewer people are going to the cinema. The fact that James Gunn's Superman has made so much money at the box office, I think is at $562 million worldwide, which is huge. I know that Man of Steel made 670 million in its box office run. However, at the time, that was considered a disappointment because it was a good time for DC. DC had just come off the Dark Knight trilogy. So those films did very well, and the studio expectation was that this Man of Steel movie, which was the first Superman movie to have been made in quite some time since Superman Returns, would be a $1 billion box office success. It wasn't. That wasn't and isn't the case with DC now. DC is in a very bad place after very poor movies. And Warner Brothers, I don't think, expected the movie to make over 500 million. I think they expected it to make 500 million. So it's overachieved in that sense. And it is kind of reinstating hope in DC. And that was the whole point of this film. This is the DC's kind of Iron Man. This is the film to bring back audiences. And I think it's doing that. And that's Miss Movies. That's what she says in this post, and I completely agree with her. But let me know what you think in the comments.